Yeah, if they can. Thank you. Okay. Please repeat after me. Om.
Om.
Apavitra.
Apavitra.
Pavitrova.
Pavitrova.
Sarvavasthan.
Sarvavastam.
Gatopiva.
Gatopiva.
Yah smaret.
Yah smaret.
Pundarikaksham.
Pundarikaksham.
Sabhabhya.
Sabahya.
Abhyantara.
Vyantara.
Suchihi.
Suchihi.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
So you take water in your hand and then say Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Om Keshavaya Namaha.
And then Om Narayana Namaha.
Om Narayana Namaha.
And the third sip, you say Om Madhavaya Namaha. And the fourth sip is something you take it and then just leave it on the ground a little bit.
Sacrificial goat.
We do this 3 times. So please repeat after me. Om.
Om.
Apavitra.
Apavitra.
Pavitrova.
Pavitrova.
Sarvavasthan.
Sarvavastam.
Gatopiva.
Gatopiva.
Yah smaret.
Yasmare.
Pundarikaksham.
Pundarikaksham.
Sabhabhya.
Sabahya.
Abhyantara.
Abhyantara.
Suchihi.
Suchihi.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
You take Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram.
Om Narayana Namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Om Madhavaya Namaha.
Krishna Krishna.
Om Govindaya Namaha.
Hare Hare Ram.
Please repeat after me. Om.
Om.
Apavitra. Pavitrova. Sarvavasthan.
Sarvavastam.
Gatopiva.
Gatopiva.
Yasmaret.
Yasmare.
Pundarikaksham.
Pundarikaksham.
Sabahya.
Sahbaya.
Abhyantara.
Abhyantara.
Suchihi.
Suchihi.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Om Keshavaya
Hare
Namaha.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Om
Krishna.
Narayana Namaha.
Hare 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 Ram. Hare
Om Madhavaya Namaha.
Hare
Om
Krishna.
Govindaya Namaha. So the next, after the Achaman, we have the talk by His Holiness Hanumat Preshak Maharaj, explaining the initiation of significance, and he'll give the new names and the beads. And after that, we'll have the fire sacrifice. Maharaj, all yours.
Okay. Mukam karoti vachalam mapangvalang gayate girim yakripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. By the mercy of the spiritual master, so A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, a blind man can see stars in the sky, a lame man can cross over mountains, a speech-impaired person can become a great poet. Yeah. And we're going to get the Bhagavatam now. Narayanam namaskrityam Naram chaiva narottamam Devam sarasvatim vyasam Tato jayam udirayat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Nirudaya Nama Shankarshanaya Cha. So these are the instructions of Narada Muni to Srila Vyasadeva. He gives very nice verses. And there's one very special one here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam 1:5-20, like that. And idam hi vishvam bhagavan ivetaro. That's not it. Where is it? I will find it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's Tabi by Shargo. Yes. Huh. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare. Yeah, there it is. Also idam. Idam, this is 1:5-22. Idam hi pungsas tapasya shrutasya va svistasya suktasya cha buddhi datayaho. Avichuto ritam kavibir nirupitam yatutama shloka gunanuvarnanam. And Narada Muni says to Vyasadeva, learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, please repeat, learned circles have positively concluded. Okay. That the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, which is austerities, this is how we advance knowledge, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry. Human intellect is developed for advancement of learning in art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, economics, political science, software development, etc., etc. By culture of such knowledge, the human society can attain perfection of life. This perfection of life culminates in the realization of the Supreme Being, Vishnu. The Shruti therefore directs that those who are actually advanced in learning should aspire for the service of Lord Vishnu. So it's a very, very nice verse about education. And of course we're focusing on education a lot, and our whole movement is focused on education in so many ways. But what is education? This is a big topic, and we're organizing this little call it commercial from our sponsor now. One moment from our sponsor, the Ministry of Education of ISKCON. So we're organizing a North American symposium on education in Texas, Houston, Texas, on July 25th, 26th, 27th. And it'll be available online as well as in presence. And Mother Ananda is going to go there, I think, and participate. And so many devotees here involved in education can participate. But that's the question is, what is education? Right? And so you can actually even look at the Encyclopedia Britannica about what is education. And it says that since the time of Socrates, the life of reason was considered to be educated. That if a person could develop his abilities to reason, to think, grammar, arithmetic, algebra, logic, that was considered an educated person. So people have summarized this as rational empiricism. Empiricism means direct perception of things, and using different rational processes, of which there are quite a few different processes like that. For example, you cannot calculate the orbit of comets. The comets, or the planets even. You cannot calculate the orbit of planets using either arithmetic or geometry or trigonometry or analytical geometry. You have to use calculus. So what's his name? Sir Isaac Newton invented calculus. Calculus does not give you the answer, but it gives you an error that is infinitesimally small. Very clever. It says, this is not the answer. The answer is not 2.5473199278635, but the error is infinitely small. Oh, okay, thank you. That's close enough for our work. Okay, So there are many, many very clever intellectual adjustments like that. And the other side of knowledge is that by seeing things, right, we actually learn how to observe things. And we got this from Aristotle. Aristotle was a disciple of Plato, who was a disciple of. Now that's just about all of Western education right there. Yeah. And so he was lost to the West until some Arabic translations of his works came in, and St. Thomas Aquinas got them. And he said, yeah, this is the way to explain Christianity, everything else. And the Pope endorsed him, so our whole line goes like that. So what does it mean to be an educated person? What are you trying to do by education, right? You're trying to accomplish something, trying to get free from suffering, because you don't know anything. You do all kinds of stupid things. You don't know how to have proper hygiene. You get sick all the time. You don't have proper relationship with other people. So many things. You have to eat raw meat. She doesn't know how to cook or grow things or economic development. So many things, and health, architecture, medicine, all these things like that. And so political sciences. So what is the purpose of education? How do we become educated? By learning things, by memorizing facts, by knowing facts, by connecting them up by logic and reason. Then mostly this level we call Gyan, right? In our culture, this Gyan level was considered to be education, and it is in big universities, everything else. The next level after our education is Gyan, and then what? Dhyan, introspection, the ability to understand and know by intuition. Do they teach that in the universities? I would say yes. Every major university teaches that. Do you know where? Department of Drama. Yeah. Theater department. You go there, they'll teach you all kinds of techniques for introspection, for meditation, very systematic. Konstantin Stanislavski was the first person, then following him, Viola Spolin, who had a very beautiful book. Every devotee would like to read it. It's called Improvisation for the Theater. And she starts off with a whole theory of knowledge and who we are and what is personality. And she goes to intuition, introspection, beyond this perception, beyond rational thought to introspection, intuition, like that. And that's about as far as she gets. She talks about the environment, that we have to come in contact with the environment in an organic, total sense, and then we can learn everything we want to learn, like that, and so on. So it's kind of like Virat Rup. This universal form is there, and it's this and that, and this. But what is it? An infallible purpose of knowledge. Doesn't in every single circumstance is true, not just here and there, like that. So, her book. First part is very nice, looking at it, very nice philosophical theory, comparing it to ours. And of course, our whole yoga is what? No, it's actually Gandharva Veda, isn't it? Yeah, it's based upon singing, dancing, and music, really. It's bhakti yoga, but the way we do it, bhakti yoga also includes puja, like that, so on. So Rupa Goswami, if you look at the history, he takes this from Maharaj Bharata, Abhinavagupta, back to Bhoja, Emperor Bhoja, Abhinavagupta, back to Bharata. And they're all using the same terms, for Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvika Bhava, all these things, and how you do this, how you relate, singing, dancing. And you can go very deep through this process like that, So her book, the first part's nice theory, and it matches up very nicely, very nice. We do this seminar in Radhadesh. Matches up very nicely with Rupa Goswami, and you can understand what he's teaching us better by seeing the contrast. And many techniques that after that, the whole rest of the game the book is games. Games for children. Anybody can play them. By learning these games, you learn to hearing and chanting. But they get into more and more sophisticated hearing and chanting games like that. So Like in the beginning, I'll mimic your activities, okay? Then I'll start doing your voice, then I'll start doing your personality. And that's when it starts to get really spooky, when people start, because you have to then abandon your false ego, like that, you know? An actor does his work with his mind, body, and words. Yeah. So they're in touch with the Paramatma, sannyas, like that. So it's different level. What is educated, you know? And how do you become educated? You know? So here it's talking about austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice. It doesn't really mention rational empiricism at all, like that. Yeah. Yeah. By doing sacrifices, you learn something. By going to college, you know, by sacrificing, by having children, you learn. You know? So in many ways, so part of this whole process is that, you know, we're going through these austerities. We're following the instructions of a teacher like A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. You know? And then we're beginning to understand who we are. You know what is the cause of all causes? Is there a person behind all this? You know, a giant red pig with a stick, like that. God is a giant red pig with a stick. Yes? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we start to making all this investigation, because before Lord Nrsingadeva appeared, the only deity people knew was Sriman Narayan with 4 arms and Varaha. So Prahlad was worshipping Varaha. Then Nrsingadeva appeared. Then so many incarnations, and then finally Krishna said, okay, this time I'll come as Swayam Bhagavan, my supreme original form. So what is it going to be? A giant spider? a giant kangaroo? Like that. Sriman Narayan with 6 arms? You're laughing, but nobody knows. Even Lord Brahma wasn't sure, you know. There's a little cowherd boy running around the forest with no pants on, you know, like that, you know. That's what it was. It was like, you know, he was really doubtful about all this, you know. So he tried to investigate using his potency, like that, you know. So we're trying to investigate. So today is very nice, you know. In some ways, it's formal matriculation into the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami school, like that. Very similar, you know. Because you come to the conclusion that I need to go to college, and I really have to get a college education to satisfy myself culturally, occupational-wise. Okay, you know. So maybe I'll become a doctor. Maybe I'll become a lawyer. Maybe I'll become an engineer. Okay, this school's here, that school's there. And so you start to investigate like that. You start to different philosophies, reading different books, trying out different things. You try out American culture. And finally you decide, okay, this is a school. I want to become an engineer. You know? And this school is good, the tuition, the distance from my home, everything else. So then you go to them and you ask them, what are your requirements? You know, first maybe, what are your requirements for formally, you know, to become involved in your school? And what do you promise? We promise that if you follow this curriculum, in 4 years, you'll be an engineer. You get your certified title, like that, you know. And okay, so I want to matriculate. Well, you're missing this class. Looks like in high school you didn't get a drafting class, so quick, take this class and finish off your certificate in drafting. I had to do that, drafting. Okay, you know. Okay, now you've got to pay these fees. You got to do this and that. You know, are you a California citizen? I'm not. Okay, so there are details, there are formalities that have to be performed. But now you're a matriculated student. Maybe you go to some class and they say, oh, you were here before. I remember you audited my class. I said, oh, okay, you know, you've already gone through most of this. I'm going to teach something a little bit different in terms of this quarter, and then you can take your examinations. So a lot of things, you've already done it. You've already been chanting 16 rounds. You've already been worshiping the deity. It's not new, but now, you know, we're doing it the proper way, you know, for credit, like that, so on, you know, yeah. So today is Harinam Diksha, you know, for Sridhar, and Padmavati, yeah. And very nice, and initiation, matriculation, Harinam matriculation. So Prabhupada was in London, I think it was London, it was England at least, and he was talking to one young professor, Indologist, Sanskrit guy, maybe about 38, and the person was a nice person, but he was, you know, you could tell he was like, you know, proud of his, you know, knowledge, it seemed, you know. So he was asking Prabhupada, so he said, so do you give Diksha, you know? And Prabhupada said, yes. He said, to the women, the girls, he said, yes, also. He said, but first we give Harinam initiation. He said, this is more or less experimental, like that. And then when we see that the students are very serious, we give them the real initiation, like that, Vedic initiation. Then he goes on to say, however, Jiva Goswami says that in this age, Harinam Diksha is sufficient, if you follow it. Yeah, you don't have to formally take the other mantras, because your Maha Mantra becomes totally effective to take you all the way to Goloka, like that, so on, if you follow it. But usually, for many people, if you're going to be doing your service as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, then it's good to take, the second initiation, to actually become initiated. Probably uses those terms, Nectar of Instruction, spiritually initiated, actually initiated, fully engaged in the service of the Lord, like that, so on. But it's okay, you don't have to. Someone like Jayananda. Jayananda's Brahmin sweat was black from automobile grease. He forgot half the mantras, but he probably, what to speak of going back to Godhead, he probably came from Godhead in the first place, it's like that. He would go 72 hours without eating or sleeping to get the Ratha Yatra, successful, so many things. But he was like Shudra. Of course, as a Shudra, he was working on automobiles. Whose automobile? Lord Jagannath's automobile. Balaram's automobile. I guess that's the most automobile you can get. Because even the people that are pulling it are his body, Yeah. So it's kind of basically a little summary here. And then, specifically, we're engaging in sacrifice. We're agreeing to perform this sacrifice, this Harinam Yagna, 16 rounds a day, pronouncing clearly, right? Not here kitty, 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 here kitty, 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 here kitty, kitty. Yes. One devotee died, right? And he went to Vaikuntha, and there was a very ugly deity of Krishna there, very distorted. And he said, who are you? And he said, yeah. And you've been calling my name all your life, so now you must stay with me forever. Yeah. So you can make a deity out of brass, you can make a deity out of clay, so many things like that, right? But you can also make it out of sound. Basically, your mind will hold for 3 seconds. The present moment lasts about 3 seconds for us Westerners. Maybe a few Indians, it's 4 seconds. like that. Software engineers, nanoseconds. It's gone. But your mind actually does take things in lumps like that. And probably even more purified, it can take, probably Bhaktisiddhanta could hold 5 minutes in this one. So in any case, you're making a deity out of sound, and we're trying to meditate upon that. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smarana. We actually have to contemplate, and different levels of development. Then Krishna's there, like that, there, so on. So it's a whole process. This is just the beginning. And if you just chant, I've heard from Prabhupada's lips, anybody who chants Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhar, Shivas, Arigor Bhaktivinoda, and follows it with Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, has achieved the perfection of life. So now you heard it from my lips. So you can also, yeah. So that's it. But to accelerate the process, we have, books, we have puja, we have different austerities, sacrifices like that. But the main process is chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada even says that more important than the books is actually chanting like that. They go together, like that. So this Harinam Diksha is, today we'll take a vow to chant 16 enthusiastic rounds every day. Enthusiasm means action executed in Krishna consciousness with intelligence. So you should be chanting thoughtful rounds, Otherwise, at the time of death, Prabhupada says the parrot, he chants Hare Krishna. But at the time of death, he chants cat. Or if you're Spanish, gato, yeah. Spanish parrot. Gato. Billy. Yeah, because his mind is not focusing. And beyond the mind focusing, we actually have to chant with meaning, like that. Yes, okay. Yeah. We actually have to chant with meaning, like that. What is the basic meaning of the mantra there?
We are addressing the energy of the Lord.
Yeah, yeah,
Krishna is the name of the
yeah,
Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
yeah.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Are we asking for something?
Please engage me in your service.
Yes, yeah. That's the basic meaning of the mantra is please engage me in your service. But there's so many services, so many details like that, no? Yeah, yeah. So 16 enthusiastic rounds a day, like that, And of course, we're still babies. Nobody is too disturbed if a baby falls down like that. It's natural. They're padded. They get back up, But later on, when a child's 3 or 4 years old, then there's something wrong, So in the beginning, where mind's wandering, everything else, but with 16, then as much as possible, chanting all day, at different times like that, driving here and there, chanting. Really, we should be doing 64 rounds a day, so we can be doing those on our beads, 16 on beads, and another 48 while we're going here and there and chanting. But yeah, like that, always chanting. Okay, 16 rounds, enthusiastic rounds, and 4 principles strictly: no meat, no fish, no eggs, no onion, no garlic, chocolate. Prabhupada there are letters where Prabhupada said for grihastas, all right, it goes on like that, so on. But there are certain things in the border and stuff like that. But basically 16 rounds strictly. And that's basically the contract, And then Prabhupada says, and I'm just acting as Diksha Guru, or Parampara, Prabhupada, ISKCON at this point in my own development, Then Prabhupada says, Upadeshamrita, everybody starts at the Kanista level, chanting like that. But if we chant 16 rounds a day, under the authority of Prabhupada, then we are guaranteed, step by step, to come to the platform of Uttama Adhikari. So there's the contract. You chant your rounds, follow the principles, guaranteed you'll become Uttama Adhikari, qualified to worship Krishna and love of God. Yeah, quite a deal, huh? yeah. Sign me up. Yeah. So, any koi prashna, eh? Speak now or forever hold your peace. What's the word? He's got a question there. He's giving his benedictions. Tapasya has given his blessings. Yeah. It's okay. Mr. Jagadish Prabhu. This is Jai Jagadish Das. Very, very nice devotee, probably disciple. Living in Santa Cruz. First time coming. Hopefully come a lot more. Yeah, he's teaching classes over at the university too, no? At the college. You're teaching at the college? Yeah. Very nice. Scholar. Yeah. Yeah.
Regarding the short section of the purport that we read. So there's a lot of work that has been done for thousands of years in like abstract mathematics or physics, right? And so my question is how does that relate to the flow of knowledge that we get from Vedic scriptures? Although seemingly it seems that it's completely unrelated and it's an entirely new way of looking at the world and try to develop some system of knowledge, especially about mathematics, like something that gets very abstract,
mathematics.
Yeah, pure mathematics. So how does it connect or how does it relate to the scriptures? Is there anything that we can?
Well, you talk about pure mathematics. Yeah. You take like Euclid's geometry, some ways like very fundamental to all of our mathematical thinking, So what is his first element?
Point.
Yeah, what is a point? How does he define a point? Huh?
Infinitesimally small.
Yeah. I think he says, a point is that which has no extension. So you're starting to get very philosophical right from the very beginning. There's nothing. But now we're going to start, actually it's called geometry, measurement of the earth, geo, like that. So maybe even they understood it doesn't include psychology. They weren't trying to like catch the mind with it. It's very good. The Greeks had a lot of good background. Even archaeology now they're accepting. They said evolutionary theory dominated the 20th century, that everything is getting better. But actually we're beginning to realize that maybe things aren't getting better. That maybe people had geomagnetic energy, and all these kind of things that which, and we're discovering, always architecture is discovering new things. Archaeology. Archaeology is discovering all these new things which just, obviously they imply a very high intelligence, which we don't understand anymore. And the other thing is also saying, even philosophically, it appears that people had a very sophisticated, developed ideas in the past, like that. So geometry, maybe they were just trying to, measure the earth or like that, meter it, organize it, and they weren't even able to realize the psychological world is something different. But even at that level, there's nothing in the beginning. He's starting off. He's creating from null. So his first thing is the point. A point which has no length, it has no width, it has no depth, it has no mother, it has no father, it has no weight, and it has no money, it has no prestige. So what do we call this in Sanskrit?
Shunya, nirvishesh.
No, neti.
Neti.
Yeah, not this, not this, not this. And that's one way of trying, that's what the bendi in this is the center of the yantra. It's the same thing. It's everything within this triangle, everything within this triangle, everything within, it's the same way. It's an approximation, it's an inductive process, like that. Statistics, so much is based upon statistics. The fundamental entity in statistics is a random event, right? What is a random event? Huh? Yeah, one definition you look in the simple textbook is a random event is an event the outcome of which cannot be predicted. Okay, basically it says we don't know. Yeah, a random number is a number which we cannot say where it came from. Now this is one of the greatest oxymorons ever invented in reality is a random number generator. Right? And they have very sophisticated algorithms to produce random numbers, don't they? Yeah. And actually Intel, at one time this guy was in the chip failure division, and they justified their existence because they made their chip fail. And what it was a navigation chip for airplanes. Yeah, and this thing would fail at a certain time, which is not good. And I think what it was, the design was mimicking the random number generator. Like that. So you start to get into it. Bhaktisiddhanta did this. You discover there are very philosophical principles involved in these things, like that. And so you can, any field like that, everybody has different interests, different nature, and you can expand cooking beyond belief for sense gratification. You can expand, mathematics beyond belief for mental gratification. These Nobel laureates talk about the almost inconceivable pleasures of the mind, like that. These guys just, gone, just matching up these things. That's what Lord Brahma enjoys. Lord Brahma enjoys on the intellectual platform, like that. Yeah, I don't know what you call it, simultaneous, 256-bit simultaneous processing system of Brahma. Yeah. But there are these rules, intellectual rules, like that, and so on. And so, but they all are connected to Krishna then. So by Euclid's process, it's a philosophical process to try to approach the absolute truth. And we can understand it, it'll do something, but it just, it won't. It'll never tell you the truth. Statistics can never tell you what the next event's going to be. No. And there's nothing, it's totally possible that I can flip this coin 7,000 times and it will come up heads every single time. It's totally possible. It's nothing surprising. It's possible. Why not? You may wonder about it like that. Like that. but nothing impossible. Yeah. So all these things, everything comes from Krishna. Everything can be used for Krishna. I have this great plan. If they ever give me control of all the nuclear weapons in the world, I'm going to have them shoot them all off into outer space. There'll be a competition between the Russians and Americans to spell out, the Maha Mantra, like that. I'll probably contaminate this outer space for a long time. And it'll be a great fireworks show, like for Janmashtami, the ultimate Janmashtami program, like that, like that, yeah. And get rid of them all, yeah.
So Maharaj, how it is said that here austerities and sacrifice and culmination of knowledge is in the descriptions, ends in the descriptions of the Lord. But sometimes we are given the descriptions of the Lord directly, though we have not acquired knowledge of Vedas or austerities, sacrifice. So what happens is sometimes unless people have gone through all this, it seems like it's difficult to be steady in Krishna consciousness. Mm-hmm. So what is the role of all these austerities and sacrifice? Does that count towards our steadiness in chanting and descriptions of the Lord? Is it that just by doing that will I acquire all that? Like, is it vice versa?
Yeah.
Because
again, last night, very super essential verse. Ado Shraddha Sadhu Sangha Anartha Nishta. So you're coming to the platform of Nishta, and you're like struggling. And somebody else is steady. Nishta is not a problem. Nishta? Ruchi, yeah. And now they're having this problem with ruchi, like, which ruchi do I want to cultivate carrots or I want to cultivate beets? So do I want to cultivate my Baba in Ram Leela or a Baba in Krishna Leela or Sakya Ras? Because coming to the point where they can actually do it. And so now they're trying to associate with a devotee and find out what is natural for me, ruchi. Then after that, they become attached because now you're cultivating it. No, you like it. Yeah. So, basically the whole process from the beginning and the end is, what does it say? Shatnama Krishna Charita Tadi Sitapiya Vidya Patopatapta Rasanasa. In the beginning, it's hearing and chanting about Krishna's name, then his form, then his pastimes, his qualities, his associates and pastimes. Next verse, Tanama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtana Snu. Then you come to the next level. So basically, from the beginning and the end, the sacrifice for this age, the dharma for this age is, nama vrata, nama sankirtan. So we chant Hare Krishna on beads, we chant with devotees, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the glories of the holy name. The Prabhupada is putting the holy names before the Bhagavatam, like that, because this is the age. It's not the age of jnana. It's the age of kirtan. But Bhagavatam is kirtan, like that. So the process is there. Basically, that's it. You just chant 16 nice rounds, enthusiastic rounds. So, enthusiasm means something different for different people, different levels of development. So Satguru Maharaj asked Prabhupada how to chant better rounds, and Prabhupada looked at him and said, by chanting better rounds. This is bhakti. We're purified enough so we know. When we're doing it, we're not. We know I didn't chant good rounds this morning. I was enjoying thinking about something else. I was enjoying thinking about that. It's okay. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to give up that pleasure. I'm going to focus on my rounds. Like that. As I'm reading Prabhupada's books, I get his association. I understand different levels then. And this, okay, I like this. Somebody likes Bhagavad Gita. Someone else likes the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And association of devotees. They look at you. And Krishna becomes the aggressor. That's essential. More important than us are what do we have to do? What we have to do is open our mouth. Like that. Krishna is trying to put the food there, and we're like that. I won't take it. It's ice cream. You'll like it. No, I won't take it. It's pretty good. Become addicted. So that's what's happening. Krishna is trying to. So our endeavor mostly is just trying to surrender to what Krishna is trying to do to us. And he will. Whether we want it or not, Krishna wants us to go back to Godhead. He wants our service. So he's trying to find some way to help us. Okay, so then Krishna will keep giving you ideas, impressions, things like that. And you realize, I never thought of this, I didn't want to do it, but this is actually the best way to do it. And I was forced to do this too. Yeah, yeah. So Krishna's coming, he's helping you, and then you're trying to take things and sort them out, and you begin to understand gradually what is the best thing. Some people cannot focus on japa without walking. One godbrother, he has to. His leg is so much energy in his legs. It's a shudra like that. He has to walk. He's actually a sannyasi now, and probably everything else, like that. Before, when he was a brahmachari, he used to trot in front of Prabhupada's Vyasa signature, just like chanting. That would keep his mind under control. Somebody else cannot focus if they walk. So you have to. It takes work. You have to do the work. How to become steady? By becoming steady. Okay? Okay, yeah. And then but it's a fact. You can ask people about different techniques and think, what do you do? What do you do? That's what we do. We exchange, like great public scientists, they discuss, well, I do this and that, I get up and this and that. Oh, okay, I'll try that. And yeah. And the descriptions of Krishna's unlimited. We're describing Krishna, we're describing Krishna's hands, his arms, his eyes, his legs. There's no meaning to descriptions of Krishna without describing his limbs. That's what you do, his parts. So we're part of him. So describing other jiva souls, describing his creation, describing these things. There's so much to glorify. Picture frames are glorifying the picture. That's what it's there for, is to illuminate it, glorify. So much needs to be done. Krishna by himself is not very attractive. But when he's surrounded by his potencies, especially his pleasure potency, he looks very nice. That's our job. Best actor and best actress is already taken. Forget it. But best lighting designer, best costume designer, screenwriter, best supporting actor, Actually, there's a thing in the theater called movies called Best Boy. You look at the credits there, you'll see down there Best Boy, like that. It's a traditional thing. It means a guy who's like moving around doing stuff like that, So you can become best boy like that, in the movie. And you've seen how you look at a movie like these I'll call it the animated cartoons, like the animated Ramayana or something. You ever see how many minutes it takes for the stuff to go by? The groups of people that were involved. It's just tiny print. You can't even read it, but it's just it keeps going by and by and by. Look at the whole thing, So and so group, so and so unit, so and so subdivision, recast masking unit, and it's just like it's like it only lasted an hour and a half, but yeah, it's just it's 28 frames a second, Baba. It's like that. It takes incredible, So just because of Ras Leela, yeah. So take advantage of all these processes, and take your own endeavor, ask people, And other than that, you have to know people who know you, to help you more specifically. But the basic process is japa. I would say that 16 rounds. There's nothing you can do to improve your spiritual life more than chanting and trying to improve your rounds. That's your Sankirtan. Prabhupada says your Sankirtan, people will respect it. Money will be no question of shortage of money. Everything, Prabhupada says, is benediction from improving your japa like that. So any final question here, comment? Okay, that's it. Now it's time. Our expert priest will take the vows here. And Prabhupada says, if after chanting the 16 chants, if after promising to chant 16 rounds in front of the fire, the devotees, the deities, the spiritual master, he does not do it, simply he is liar. He breaks all his promises. You can still change your mind. Yeah. Prabhupada says it is a formality, but not without meaning. Not without meaning. It's a formality, but not without meaning. Like that and stuff. So, okay. So it's okay? We'll go ahead then? Okay. So now I think we take the vows, okay? So, Sridhar, you come here and pay your obeisances to Prabhupada, like that, okay? Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Left shoulder to the knees. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare. Over here. Ah. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. In Manipur, they can play drums in Manipur. They started 5 years old, 6 years old. Yeah. By 8 years old, they play this one thing. It's tit daddy gi ga ga ga. Then it keeps expanding, same thing, till it takes about 1 minute to play the whole thing. Then they bring it back down again, opposite direction, the other direction, and every note is written down. So you got to memorize. By the time you're 8 years old, you can do this whole thing. So, yeah. Okay. What are the 4 regulative principles? Louder. Being broadcast.
No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and 4th one, no gambling.
Yeah. No meat, fish, or eggs?
No meat, fish, or eggs.
Okay. Do you promise to follow these 4 principles strictly your whole life?
I do.
Okay. Do you also promise to chant 16 enthusiastic rounds every day?
I will do that. Enthusiastic rounds.
Okay. Your name is Kolaveca Sridhar Das.
Kolaveca Sridhar Prabhu ki! Kolaveca Sridhar Prabhu ki! Kolaveca Sridhar Prabhu ki!
So you can read the pastimes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think Chaitanya Bhagavat also. They were a very, very advanced couple, but not much money. So his wife never had nice saris. She always had holes in her sari. So, yeah, see here. But they're very happy. Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Prabhupada initiated one Brijbasi, Balaram Sharma, as Krishna Balaram Das. Prabhupada also Bhaktisiddhanta kind of kept the name. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Okay. So, what are the 4 regular principles?
No meat eating.
Fish or eggs?
No fish or egg. No onion garlic.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
No illicit sex.
Yeah.
No gambling. And
What else we got? We skip one.
no intoxication.
Yeah. Okay. Do you promise to follow these strictly your whole life?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
And you also promise to chant 16 enthusiastic rounds every day?
Yes, I will, Prabhu.
Okay. Your name is Priya Narma Padmavati Devi Dasi.
Priya Narma Padmavati Mataji ki! Priya Narma Padmavati Mataji ki! Priya Narma Padmavati Mataji ki!
So there are different levels of sakis, sakis, and Priya Narma sakis are the most intimate, like that. So Padmavati is very, very intimate, very dear Padmavati. Yeah, like that. Okay.
What is the first one?
Priya Narma.
Narma. What does Narma mean?
I'm not sure exactly, but Priya Narma sakis are a very intimate class of lady friends. Priya. Yeah. Actually, I'd like to know if you can find out. Like that. Yeah. Okay. Narma. Okay, so Priya Narma. Very, very intensely dedicated, very dedicated. Very nice. Nice name. When Bird came with a name like that. Stop it like that. Okay, now our expert Purohit will do a human sacrifice. Like that. Come out with a new body. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna. So we'll repeat this one mantra. You don't have to repeat, but this is an invocation mantra that begs for blessings from various personalities to help us not commit offenses. The English translation of this mantra is, May Sanat Kumar protect me from lusty desires. As I begin some auspicious activity, may Sri Hayagriv protect me from being an offender by neglecting to offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord. May Devarshi Narada protect me from committing offenses in worshipping the deity, and may Sri Kurma, the tortoise avatar, protect me from falling into unlimited hellish planets. The Sanskrit, this is words from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 8th chapter, 17th verse. Sanat Kumaro Vatukama Devad Daya Shirshamam Patideva Helanat Devarshivarya Purusharchanantarat Kurmo Harirmam Nirayadasheshata. And then you can chant Vrindavan Priya Prabhu, you can chant the Mahamantra, and then we'll do the fire, and then I'll do the Swasti Vachan prayers, and then when the time comes for the Mangalacharan, then we can stop that. Is that okay? Maharaj, do I have your permission to start? Do I have your permission to start? Okay, thank you. Om Prajapati Vishnu Rishi Brihati Chandaha Sri Vishnu Devatagni Stapane Vinyoga Om Bhurbhu Swaha Om Deeparchirevahi Dashantaramabhipeta Deepayate Vivruta Hetu Samana Dharma Yastagreva Chalshutayavati Govindamadi Purusham
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Esha Samudbhagne. Can somebody bell fast. Shedupa Samudbhavaya Namaha. विष्णु परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूर्यो दिव्या चक्षुरातं विपुषो जागवन्ता ओम तद्विष्णु परमं पदम् ओम कृष्णो वै सच्चिदानन्दघनः कृष्णादिपुरुषः कृष्णः कर्मादिमूलं कृष्णः सर्वै कृष्णकार्यं पिदादिश मुख्य प्रभु पूज्य कृष्णो नादिस्तस्मै आं क्रतुरहं यज्ञास्वादां ममौषधं मंत्रमहिमेवाद्यं महमग्निसोषितम् ओम स्वस्ति नो गोविंद स्वस्ति नो अनन्तराम स्वस्ति नो वासुदेव स्वस्ति नो यातो स्वस्ति नो यक्षिणा स्वस्ति नो विहातु स्वस्ति नो वासुदेव स्वस्ति नो स्वस्ति नो भवता स्वस्ति नो सुमंगलाय केशव महान श्री कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद गणा सर्वेश्वरेश्वरो देवादि
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
After this, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Thank you, Vrindavan Priya Prabhu. So the next part of the fire sacrifices that we offer the grains in the fire after each mantra. We start with honoring our Guru Parampara, and then after that will be Prashchit Homa. So please repeat after me, and as I say Swaha, then you are going to offer the fire, the grains into the fire that is there in front of you. So please repeat after me. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Swaha 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 Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Swaha 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 Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते हनुमत प्रेषक स्वामी नितिनामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामी नितिनामिने स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवं गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशे तारिणे स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्ता सरस्वती नितिनामिने श्रीवर्षभानावि देवी दयिताय कृपाब्दये कृष्णसम्बन्धा विज्ञाना दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वला प्रेमाद्या श्रीरूपानुगा भक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्धापा अपसिद्धांता द्वांता हारिणे स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बा रसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगा वरायते स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। गौराविर्भावा भूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रिया वैष्णवा सार्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः स्वाहा 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 वाञ्छा कल्पा तरुभयश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। जयतं सुरतौ पंगोर मम मंदा मतेर्गतिः मत्सर्वस्वा पदाम्बोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। दिव्याद्वृन्दारण्या कल्पद्रुमदः श्रीमद् रत्नागरा सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेष्टालिभिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। श्रीमान रासा रसारंभी वंशीवटा तटस्थितः कर्षन्वेणुर स्वनैर्गोपीर गोपीनाथा श्रियेस्तुनः स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। तप्तकांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्ता वृंदा स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। ओम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। ओम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। ओम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे स्वाहा स्वाहा स्वाहा। So this completes the Mangalacharan prayers of offering the grains and offering our obeisances to our Guru Parampara. The next part will be called Prayashchita Homa, where we beg for forgiveness for any offenses that we might have committed as a part of our sacrifice. So kindly repeat after me. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardana Yat Pujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadastu Me Swaha 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 Om Aparadha Sahasrani Kriyante Harnisham Maya Dasoham Itimam Matva Kshamasva Madhusudhana Swaha 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 Om Pratigna Tava Govinda Name Bhakta Pranashyati Iti Samsmritya Samsmritya Pranan Samadari Yami Aham Swaha Swaha Swaha. Thank you. So the next part will be that we offer Purnahuti sacrifice, wherein we stand up for that particular offering. So if you can stand up, and then at the end of that, we offer the banana into the fire. So please don't put it on the fire, put it around the fire, because there are 4 of you and the Yajnapita is small. Thank you. No, not now, just now. Om Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Swaha Swaha Swaha. So now you may place the banana around the fire, and then following Maharaj, you may just circumambulate the fire 7 times. So somebody can remove the asanas while we are just doing it, and then the kirtan might start now.
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Vandamoi Savadana Mate. Vandamoi Savadana Mate. Yahara prasade pai e bhavatoriya jai. Yahara prasade pai e bhavatoriya jai. कृष्ण प्राप्ति है जहाँ है ते कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो यहाँ है ते गुरुमुख पद्मा वाक्य चित्ते ते कोरिया क्या गुरुमुख पद्मा वाक्य चित्ते ते कोरिया क्या आर ना कोरी हो माने आशा श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति ये प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा ये प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चकुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ हते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ हते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेदे गाय जहर चरित वेदे गाय जहर चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदम जना Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya 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 Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. काली कुकुर कादन जाड़ी चाओ है कलियुग पावन कलि भयनाशन श्री सच्चिदानंद गाओ है कलियुग पावन कलि भयनाशन श्री सच्चिदानंद गाओ है कदा धर्मादन नितयन प्राणधन अद्वैतर प्रभु जित गौरा निमयी विश्वम्भर श्रीनिवासीश्वर भक्त समूह चित छोरा नदिया शशधर मायापुरीश्वर नाम प्रवर्तन सूरा गृही जन शिक्षक न्यासी कुल नायक माधव राधव पूरा सर्वभौम शोधन गजपति तारन रामानंद पोषण वीरा रूपानंद वर्धन सनातन पालन हरिदास मोदन धीरा ब्रजरास पावन दुष्ट मट शातन कपटि विघातन कामा शुद्ध भक्त पालन सूक्ष्म ज्ञान ताडन चल भक्ति दूषण रामा काली कुकुर कादन जाड़ी चाओ है कलियुग पावन कलि भयनाशन श्री सच्चिदानंद गाओ है हरे हराय नमः कृष्णाय भट्टदास रघुनाथ इच्छाय गोसाई करी चरण बंदन या हईते विघ्ननाश अभीष्ट पुराण इच्छाय गोसाई यार मुई तारा दास कांसा बारा पाद रेणु मोर पंचग्राम तंदिरा चरण सेवी भक्त शनिवास जन्म जन्म होय अभिलाष ऐशाय गोसाई रवे ब्रज कैलावास श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण नित्य लीला कोरिला प्रकाश श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण नित्य लीला कोरिला प्रकाश बोलो आनंदी बोलो हरि भज वृंदावन बोलो आनंदी बोलो हरि भज वृंदावन श्री गुरु वैष्णव पदे मजई अमन श्री गुरु वैष्णव पद पद्म कोरियास श्री गुरु वैष्णव पद पद्म कोरियास हरि नाम संकीर्तन को है नरोत्तम दास हरि नाम संकीर्तन को है नरोत्तम दास हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय महाप्रभु जय महाप्रभु जय महाप्रभु जय महाप्रभु जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय नरहरि जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय नरहरि जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की। श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की। श्री मायपुर नवद्वीप धाम की। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र की। श्री गंगामयी यमुनामयी की। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की। इनिशिएशन सेरेमनी एट ISKCON of Silicon Valley की। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.